Today we are making a video on Kubuntu 23.04, which is a Ubuntu flavor, and here is the boot menu of Kubuntu 23.04 Lunar Lobster. And just ignore the background noise because crazy people around my neighborhood. So this is the boot menu. In order to boot in a live mode, just click on try or install Kubuntu, or you can try other options to check some of the other info like test memory, OEM install for manufacturers, Kubuntu safe graphics, like that. So we want to boot it in a live mode, so let's click on try or install Kubuntu. It's going to take a maximum of 1 minute and a minimum of 30 to 40 seconds. It's a usual booting time in a Linux distro to get to the desktop layout. So I'm running it on a virtual machine, which is a VMware with 80 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, and with 2 processors. So this is a stable version which released like 2 days back or yesterday, like that. Some countries it's yesterday, some countries it's 2 days. And here is our Kubuntu logo, and Kubuntu is one of the Ubuntu's flavor. There are a lot of different flavors available. I already made a lot of videos on it. I made a stable version, beta version, or a pre-release. You can check that out in my channel. So I think we should be having our desktop layout loaded completely in a few more seconds, I guess. So again, it's a stable version. If you want to install it, always try it in a live mode, because it's always a good idea to boot it in a live mode first. Then if you are satisfied, just go with the installation. So again, try to use it for like a few hours, like 3 to 4 hours, or maybe one day. It should be good, because you will find some bugs. If you don't find any bugs, you can just install it on your own. So here is the two options of booting the Kubuntu Linux distro. You can boot it in a live mode, or you can directly install it in a Kubuntu. But I already mentioned, I always try it in a live mode first. After satisfied, then go with the installation. Choose your language and go with the two options available here. It should take like a few more seconds because it should load up the desktop layout. Again, try to ignore the background noise because people around my neighborhood making a lot of noise, and ignore also my keyboard and mouse sound, because you know, my microphone is trying to pick up every sound. So here is the KDE Plasma desktop environment. Again, people who don't know that the Kubuntu comes with a KDE Plasma desktop environment. I think we should be having our KDE Plasma 5.27.4 like that, because that's the latest version. So this is a stable version. So here is our mouse pointer, and everything is loaded. If you ask me how much time it took, like almost like a 1 minute, like 1 minute and 20 to 30 seconds, like that. So let's change the display resolution first and go to system monitor. In order to go to the display settings, just right click on the mouse, or you can go to the application menu here and settings, and you will be having the display configuration. Mine is 1920 into 1080 display monitor with a 16:9 ratio. Click on apply. It's going to give the best option or the best display. If you can't see the text size or font size, or if it's smaller for you, you can change the global scale up to 150%. 1920 into 1080 and 150% should be perfect combination. So let's check about the system, and it should be Kubuntu 23.04. This is their website, and the desktop environment is the latest 5.27.4, and the frameworks version is 5.104. The latest version is 105. And the Qt version is a 5.15.8, and kernel version is a 6.2.0, which is almost latest version. Graphics platform is X11, and these are my hardware info. If you want, you can go through all these things. Let me open the system monitor first, because we need to know how much resources are consuming before running anything. We just opened some display setting, that's it. That's not going to take that much resources. And the memory is almost 1.1 GB of 4 GB, and CPU is almost under 25%. So you need to remember this, because I'm going to open the system monitor again at the end of the video. After running all the apps, settings, wallpapers, all these things, you should be having an idea of how much resources are consuming in the Kubuntu with a KDE Plasma desktop environment. So that will help you that if you want to use it or not for your Linux PC. So on the application side, we have some of the apps here. On the history, here is a graph. Just ignore the high peak in the beginning because it's pretty common in every Linux distro. So you should need to see the graph of the middle one, because if it goes smooth, so that CPU is good. If you have like a high peaks or a constantly high peak, that should be bad. And here is the memory. Just ignore the internet connection because it depends on your internet. We don't need it. We just need the CPU and the memory. So let's go to the processors running right now. These are all the processors running right now, as you can see. Let's check the version. Version should be like a 5.27.4 because that's the system monitor version and the desktop environment version. So let's open the console, which is a terminal for the KDE Plasma desktop environment and Kubuntu. So here is the version. If you want, you can remember that version. So let's type in the important commands to get all the distro info, which is inxi-sv8, which will grab every distro info. inxi is not found, so let's first install sudo apt install inxi. Click on paste and hit enter. It's going to take like a minute, I think, I guess. Reading packages list done. Building dependency. You need to update some things, so let's just ignore this thing. And I already made a video on all Ubuntu flavors. If you want, you can check that out in my previous videos. You'll get what is latest info here. So let's type in cat:/etc issue. The Mesa version, OpenGL, Xarch version, I already showed everything in the previous videos. So that's the that thing. So here is the Ubuntu 23.04. Let's type in htop if it's available. It should be available because that should work. So this is the command. Let's copy the command, which is a sudo apt install htop. Let's paste it and hit enter. It's going to take a maximum of sudo apt install htop. What happened? Let's paste it again. Click on enter. So let's exit this thing and let's go to the downloading process. Let me close this thing. My keyboard is let me open the Firefox web browser and let me show you their official website and the download tutorial. Firefox usually takes like a 20 to 30 seconds maximum. Sometimes it opens instantly like this because it's a stable version, so it should work properly. The version is 311.0.1. Let me type in the website URL or a search term, which is Kubuntu 23.04. This is the search term you need to enter in the URL or in the search engine. So this is the first link. It's officially released in every website, so you should be having the ISO file there. So what's latest info is here. The desktop environment is 5.27.4, which I already mentioned or showed, and the framework and the KDE Gear I already showed everything. So if you want to download, you can download here. If you want to upgrade, you can go to that thing. So it's only available for 64-bit. You already know that. So click on 64-bit. Here is the version. You need to verify that you are downloading the correct ISO file, because it's almost a 5 GB of ISO file. Don't waste the internet if you have a Metro connection. So let me close this thing, and there is nothing changes, just the available changes is here. The release note is here. You can go through all these things. Let's close this thing and let me show you the installation process of Kubuntu. I'm not showing that much because I already showed that in a development ISO file and the beta version. There's nothing changed, just a few things maybe, I guess. Just a minor updates like a 10 MB, 15 MB, that's it. There's nothing more than that. So here is the installation process. It's always the first, it's always the language selection. You need to choose your language selection. there are plenty of languages available. I'm going to choose the English language. Click on continue. It's going to open the keyboard. You need to choose your keyboard. Choose any of your language. I'm going to put it the English US, and variant is English US. You can choose other options in English US. Click on continue. And here are the updates and other softwares. If you want to go with the normal installation, here is the description of what are the available things in the normal installation, which is a web browser, utilities, office software, plus additional internet application and a media player. And in the minimal installation, you just get a web browser plus basic utilities and applications. If you ask me, I'm going to give this option. I'm going to recommend this option because if after downloading the file size of a 5 GB, it's always better to go with a normal installation. And on the other options, you need to click on both these things. If you want, you can change it, or you can install it later. These are options like it's going to update the downloads, latest updates. You will get the latest updates here, and these are the wireless or the Wi-Fi and some media formats updates here, or the software, third-party softwares here. So it's always a better option to click or uncheck if you don't want. If you want, you can check these things and click on continue. And you should also remember, and you should be seeing that it's an old installer still. The new installer is only available in the main Ubuntu with a GNOME desktop environment. As you can see here, this still old installer. So you should be careful while choosing this option because it's a partition option, and it's going to erase everything. If you choose the entire disk, it's going to erase the operating system right now, which is which you are using. If you are using it on a VMware, it's no problem, you can do anything. If you're using a hard drive or SSD, so it's going to be problem. So be careful, and you need to have an idea what you're doing here, and you need to have an knowledge of what you're doing here, because if you want to choose a single boot, you go with the guided entire disk. If you want to dual boot the operating systems like Windows with Linux, you can choose the manual and do partitioning like that, all these things. For the sake of the video, I'm just choosing the guided use entire disk. You can even encrypt the SSD or a hard disk with providing 2 passwords same, and giving the strong password will be good. So after clicking on install, you need to provide the time zone, user info. User info is like providing the username, password like that. And after that, you need to click on install. It's going to take like 20 to 20 minutes maximum if you have a low-end PC. If you have a mid-end PC like mine with i5 12th gen, it's going to take like 5 to 10 minutes. So it all depends on your PC and Linux distro. So let's close the installation process. And let's check some of the desktop features which are changed. There's nothing changed, but let's go through all these things. So here are the wallpapers which are also available in the past version. Maybe some of the wallpapers are changed, I don't know properly. These are all the available wallpapers. And the folder view version should be 3.0, which is as usually as same. And icons, filter, these are all the other options. Let's close and check these are all the KDE Plasma 5.27 wall features. So there is nothing changed. It's a waste of time, but still going to show you. So these are all the older options which were available in the previous version 2. Some disk and drives, internet connection, calendar, volume, clipboard, and on the applications which comes pre-installed are here. There will be nothing because almost KDE Plasma desktop environment apps are available right here. There is no Kubuntu wallpapers, Kubuntu apps here, as you can see. Let me open few of the apps and check the versions, because it also helps the system monitor to see how much resources are consumed. So let me open the few of the apps. The version of Thunderbird is 102.10.0. Let me close this thing. I already showed the Firefox web browser, so let me show the file manager, which is a Dolphin file manager. Version should be 22.12.3. the version should be same for every KDE Plasma desktop environment applications. So you need to remember that thing. So the version should be same, and the Kate version should be also same because it comes with a KDE Plasma desktop environment pre-installed. As you can see, the same version. And let me go to all the apps. On the development we have Kate. On the games we have some 4 games like that. On the graph we don't have a game, just a few apps. On the internet we showed already, I showed the Firefox web browser and a Thunderbird. On the multimedia you have a Elisa and Pulse video volume controller. This is a LibreOffice. The version should be like a 7.5.2 because we made a lot of videos on Ubuntu 23.04, so that's the version available. Let me show you the version. Again, the mouse problem. About LibreOffice, the version is 7.5.2.2. Let me close this thing. And the version for every LibreOffice application should be same. And I think we covered everything, I guess. Let me open Discover. So there is nothing to show you this because it's just a video for the people who want to know is it stable or a bug with bugs. So it only depends on how much time you consume, how much time you use this, or how much time you put in using this Linux distro. So if you use like a 1 day or 2 days on a live boot, you should be having an idea of what bugs are there, or you have a good stable ISO. So it all depends on yourself. So if you want, you can try it. Always remember, it's always good idea to try it in a live mode. I'm again trying to say this again and again because I don't want to ruin your PC. I don't want you to ruin your PC. It's a better idea to go with a live mode always. Whatever the Linux distro is that, if they have the live media or a live boot, always go with a live boot first. If you're satisfied, then go with the installation. So it's going to take a fetching updates some time. So let me close this thing. What else we left here? There's nothing left to show. So on the utility side, the same common apps, so nothing. Let me open the package manager. Let's see. So if the installed one, if the packages are installed, that should be with a green color. If it doesn't installed, it should be like a green orange color. So let me show you some apps installed. So these are the installed apps. Let me quickly run through all this thing. If you want to slow it down, you can slow it down in the YouTube by going to YouTube settings, playback speed. Change the playback speed to 1.0 to 0.25. So you should be seeing every app installed here, or every package installed here. Let me show the version, which is 5.8.0. move on package manager. And we saw the delay there. So everything is up to date. There's nothing to show. So almost everything is covered. Even the website didn't mention what is changed, just the KDE Plasma applications are changed, or the versions are changed. That's it. So I think that's it for the video. Let me show you my channel and end the video. I'm going to post 2 videos daily without missing any day. So today video is a Kubuntu, and another one is a PacOS. I didn't made a video still. This is the first video. So after watching this video, you can watch that video. The video should be available. So it's from Pakistan OS. It's from Pakistan. So it's first for Linux distro, I guess. Let's try to use that Linux distro after making this video. So in order to watch my content without subscribing, so you need to type just youtube.com/9to5linux. People who already subscribe to channel, subscribe to my channel, you don't need to worry about this step. You just skip this step. You need to type in the youtube.com/9to5linux if you're using a web browser. If you're using just a YouTube app, just type in 9to5linux. It's going to open my channel. So let's click on enter. And I'm using a VPN. It should take a few more seconds, like a 2-3 seconds extra as usual. So here is our channel. I'm going to go with the about section. I mentioned that I will post 2 videos daily without missing any day. I am doing that from the past 5 to 6 years. I didn't miss any day, just 2 or 3 days when I was sick. So these are the timings. You need to visit at these timings to see what content is available. The content should be available before the timings because I'll put it in a premiere. In order to search the specific term or a specific Linux distro, for example Kubuntu, let's take a Kubuntu as example. So the latest version should be available as soon as the ISO file is released. As soon as the ISO file released, the content should be available because I will make the content as soon as the ISO file is released. Whether it's a beta version, alpha version, development version, whatever the ISO file is released, I will make a content on it. So you don't need to be waiting for some others. If you want to visit some other channels, I don't have any problem, you can visit it. So here is the point I am trying to explain is that I will be providing latest version or the latest ISO file content. So that's the thing here. If you are here only for the Linux content, just go to the playlist and you will find Linux. Click on view full playlist under Linux playlist. I made like a 1560 videos, almost 1.6k videos. I covered everything like 70 to 80% of different types of Linux distro or variety types of Linux distro, the discontinued version, everything I covered here. Even the laptops Linux distro, the suitable Linux distro, lightweight, everything. If you want to play all or shuffle, do anything you want. So I think I said everything, I guess. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. If you don't want, it's clearly up to you. I respect your opinion, no problem. So let's close this thing and let's check the system monitor, because I mentioned already said that I'm going to show you the system monitor again at the end of the video. So you should be having an idea of how much resources are consumed. It's almost 1.8 GB, which took like almost 700 MB. Before the starting of the video or the beginning of the video, it was like a 1.1 GB. Now as you can see, it's a 1.8 GB. So these are the applications. This is the CPU. CPU is also touching like almost 25%. Before it was like a 17 to 18%. So if you are confused or if you don't understand, just put the video side by side from the beginning of the video and ending of the video, or write down at the starting of the video and ending of the video. So you should be having a clear hardware resources consuming. Just calculate it and you will be having your answer there. So let's go to the applications. These are the applications running, and history, this is the history, CPU and RAM. Again, I didn't open that many apps, just a few apps. For few apps it took like 700 MB. So it's your option, or it's you to judge to use this Linux distro or not. So it's clearly up to you. So let me close this thing and end the video. So again, after watching this video, I am making another video which is a PackOS. Let's try and see if it works. The content should be available or not. The other content should be available for you. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.